Well, welcome back to Morning Break. This week, members of our WTOC team have been stopping by the Morning Break kitchen to share their favorite holiday recipes. Mariah Congito here this morning to make a pumpkin pie, but not just any pumpkin pie. This one is special.
Yeah, so it's special to me because it's my Nana's pumpkin pie. It's my favorite part of Thanksgiving. You know, I mean, I do love the typical mashed potatoes and all of that, but when it's time for dessert, this is where I'm going. You know, this is kind of a hot take. I really don't like any other pie.
So
pumpkin pie is the only one.
Oh,
yes.
Really? This is your only pie?
Yeah, pumpkin pie, that's my go-to.
One in my family who doesn't like pie, but she will eat pumpkin pie.
Yeah,
so. All right,
it's super easy. It's super, super easy. I actually did not know how to make pumpkin pie until I tried this. So we're gonna start with one large bowl. That's gonna be for more of our wet ingredients, then we'll mix our dry ingredients. So we're gonna start with, you know, you gotta have the pumpkin pie.
Sure.
This is one that doesn't already have the spices in. We'll add the spices after.
Excellent.
So they do have the one that has all the spices. So we're going to use this whole can. This is a 15-ounce can.
And that's what's great about pumpkin pie is you can find the canned pumpkin anywhere.
Yep.
And it is just as good as if you took a real pumpkin and pulled out the inside.
I guess you
and
could
made
do that. That would be some...
I mean, you don't have to, though. That's what's great because this stuff is really good.
Exactly. All right, and then I'm going to have you do the eggs.
I'm doing the eggs?
I feel like you're a one-handed egg cracker. Okay.
We'll try one-handed.
So, yes, next thing is going to be
just kind of crashed that one there.
the 2 eggs, and we're going to beat them in that bowl as well. So once Tim gets those cracked, we'll add that into
One thing I will give you a tip on the eggs, never do them on the side of the bowl. Because that's how you get shell in there.
So I definitely have been doing it wrong my whole life.
And you get shell in there anyway.
All right, so he's going to get a good mix on that. Again, that's 2 eggs.
Okay.
And then while you do that, I'm going to take the can of evaporated milk.
Okay.
We were struggling with the can opener here, but I think
we got it. Yeah,
work.
we just. Do you use the whole can of that, or
this is going to be the whole can? Yes. So this one is a 12-ounce can, and again, we're just going to throw that right into here.
All righty.
With our pumpkin. And so,
you want the eggs now?
Yeah, we'll get those going.
Okay.
All right, so all that's going to go together. And then we're going to do our dry. So Tim, I'm going to have you do this as well. We're going to have 3/4 cup of sugar.
3/4. This is a cup?
Yep.
Or this is a 3/4
cup.
cup. Okay, so just fill that up.
Fill that up. Put that in a separate bowl. While you do that, I'm going to just kind of mix this a little bit.
All right. And you know what? I like sweet. I'm going to go a little over.
All right. Hey,
so there we go.
No problem with that.
All right.
Add a little extra sugar love into it, right? All right, and then I've already measured them out just for convenience here, but we're going to have 2 teaspoons of pumpkin spice mix. So I want to talk about this though a little bit. So you can buy pumpkin spice mix, which is just way more convenient than buying a ton of other, you know, the little jars can be expensive.
Probably has some ginger, some nutmeg, some cinnamon.
Yep, yeah, so if you don't get the pumpkin spice mix that's already mixed, you're going to do cinnamon, you're going to have granulated. There we go. Cloves, and then you're also going to have nutmeg as well, and ginger too.
Excellent. Yeah, that clove gives it there's that little bit of kind of like a deep flavor in pumpkin pie. That's where that comes from, is that clove.
But this is
so
much
easy,
more convenient. So that's 2 teaspoons. So if you want to toss that into
that's
the
going
sugar.
with the dry?
Yep, that's going with the dry. And then we're going to have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt.
And it's so important. People say salt in dessert, it just brings out all the flavors. Salt it has a flavor, but it really is a flavor heightener is the biggest thing it does.
And do you have that fork over there? You can.
Let's see. I put it down here with the eggs.
Okay.
So,
just go ahead and mix that a little bit.
Mix
the dry ingredients.
The top of it still has some egg on it.
And then the next thing to do is we're just going to gradually put that into the liquid mixture.
So you want to be mixing and I'll pour?
So that's the key. Keep it mixing the whole time. Perfect. If you want to stop there.
And it smells like pumpkin pie already.
It smells so good. I love it. I just love cinnamon. I was talking to Sarah Winkleman earlier. She doesn't like cinnamon. I'm like,
really?
Oh, I don't know how, but.
How do you get through the holidays if you don't like cinnamon?
I know. I don't know if there's an alternative, but all right. So this is already coming together real nice. I'm going to keep mixing a little bit. This is a 9-inch pie pan.
Okay.
And for convenience sake, I bought the pre-made pie crust. You can do this.
You know what?
On your own too.
I've never made a pie crust. I always use the packaged ones.
It's just so convenient.
I have a funny story about that. My grandmother was a great baker. She baked almost every day.
Okay.
And one year, my sister wanted to make my grandmother's apple pie.
Yeah.
So she calls her on the phone and says, I'd like to make your apple pie recipe. So my grandmother says, oh, well, first thing you make your pie crust. She says, no, I'm gonna buy a pie crust.
She was probably horrified.
She hung up. she wouldn't give her the recipe. She hung up on her.
My Nana, she does it all herself. I mean, that is just very, It's difficult. It's hard to do. And, you know, we all are all about convenience, especially on the day. If you're going to make it the day of, you want to have something that's a little bit more convenient.
I kind of gave a little bit of a tear in there, but you're
It's all
supposed
right.
to
It still
kind
tastes
of
the
bunch
same.
it together anyway.
Yeah, so you can either, and
it'll
I was
look
going
like
to
it's
show
supposed to.
you, I'm going to have you grab that fork again. I
Okay.
know I keep telling you to put it away, but
That's all right. I'm actually going to wipe it off because this does have egg on it. Although we're going to put egg wash on the.
I do not. You
Okay.
can do that for sure. But like he put it in here and it does not need to be a greased pan.
Okay.
So that's key too. And you're really just going to press it down.
But you do want it into the corners?
Into the corners. Yep.
Okay.
Press it all the way down. And then if you want to bring these edges over, and for time's sake, we're not going to do it, but you can
Then you
cut
just-
the
yeah.
edges that are hanging off because you don't want those to burn in the oven. And then what I like to do, it's easier.
press?
Yep, you can press down on the sides, and that gives it a little bit of a design.
Right, and you don't
So-
see that now, but when it cooks,
Yep.
when it bakes, it'll show that way, and actually the part that's up rises a little bit,
Yeah.
and the indentation stays down, and it really looks great.
Yeah, but if you wanted
So-
to be fancy, you could curl the sides. My
Right.
Nan does that. I can't do it. She's
Yeah,
much
I-
more skilled than
When it comes to pie crust, I go the easy route. I
Yes.
do whatever. I probably wouldn't even do this part of it.
Exactly. So yeah, we would do it all the way around and then poke holes in the bottom as well, so we don't want any air bubbles, and even on the sides too. And then once that's all said and done, we'll go
Yeah,
ahead and
because
dump this in.
otherwise what would happen is the middle of the pie, wherever it's
Exactly.
not on the pan,
Yep.
it would pop
It's going to
up. and
rise
you'd-
up, and we don't want
it would
that.
spill
And
all
we-
your ingredients.
this might be a little much. We might have a little extra, and that's fine, but certainly don't want to overflow it. So give it a little bit, maybe like a half an inch of space on that top there.
Because it will rise.
It will rise, and then that's going to go into the oven.
Okay.
What I have found that I like is 15 minutes for 425. Then you're going to drop the
drop it.
heat to 350 for another about 30 or so minutes.
Do you take it out, then drop it, or you just
Nope.
drop it and let it stay in there?
I did actually take it out and let it kind of
it
get
come down
down
to
a little
350.
bit just for a few minutes and then pop it back in. Let's go ahead and taste the
yeah,
one that we
this
have
smells,
done.
This smells fantastic just as it is.
Yeah.
But you have one made.
I have one made, so I'm going to
All right.
grab this. And I know you like
Create a
whipped
little space
cream.
I do
so
like whipped cream.
there's the finished one. You can see the.
Actually, I'm going to show folks the full.
Yeah, okay, go
Finally,
ahead and
you got
grab
your-
the full one.
If I know how to open this.
I'm not the best at cutting the. I'm not the best at cutting pie.
Look at this. Look how great this pie
but
looks.
Yeah, yeah. So it comes out real nice. And I'm going to put a little drop there.
Just ignore the little spot that I'm going to eat right there.
This
but
is pumpkin spice whipped cream too.
pumpkin
so.
spice whipped cream. I've never
Yeah.
even seen that before.
Yeah.
This looks fantastic.
Yeah, no, I hope you like it. Go ahead and take a bite. Be honest with
I'm
me,
going to go
Tim.
without the whipped cream first because I want to taste
Yep.
the pie.
Yeah, and it's funny, I actually really don't like crust that much.
Really?
Yeah, so
That's really good.
My pap, like I would keep the crust on the bottom, but the
Okay.
edge, my pap, I would give it to him and he'd eat it.
And he'd eat the
Yeah.
crust?
Yeah.
So I like that a lot. And I like the crust on the bottom because
Yeah.
it's moist.
Right, that's
and
why
it's
I
not
like it
crunchy.
too.
It's a little
Yes.
soft. I do like kind of
Yeah.
a more, kind of a softer crust
Yeah,
there.
and this is super easy. You can make it ahead. Just make sure you refrigerate it as well.
That pumpkin spice whipped cream is great too.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thanks
You
for
gonna make
having me.
this
I'm glad you
next
liked
week?
it. Yep, sure. I'm gonna make a bunch of them. It's so easy and it's fun.
All right, thank you so much. Next week
Thank
we
you.
will have more folks from WTOC joining us in the kitchen, making more Thanksgiving sides. Nobody's gonna make a pie like this though. I tell you that.
Thanks, Tim.
We will be right back.